to Breakfast with Tiffany with your host, Tyffanie Morgan.
That's right, sweeties. It's me. It's me. And a special guest. Bow. Bow. Well, hello, my little sweet peas and my little love muffins from all around the big blue world. This is your hostess, Miss Tyffanie Morgan, calling to you live from Kingston, Ontario, Canada, the home of Limestone, the home to Sweet Pea Studios, because I think I'm in my living room now, and the home to me, Miss Tyffanie Morgan. And it's also home to another fabulous drag queen, Miss Mimiosa.
It's true. I'm here. I brought some sparkling wine to do a little splash with my mother, sister, lover, Tyffanie Morgan.
Lover. Oh my goodness sakes! I don't think we've had that contract talk yet. But yeah, thank you for being here. Actually, in person studio here. So thank you for bringing the bubbly.
Don't worry, we're wearing masks. We're social distancing. I'm in the garden. She's indoors. We're following all the proper protocols.
We're following complete protocols. Exactly. Cheers. All right. So welcome, and this is going to be the first episode on C4C 101.9 FM here in Kingston, also c4c.ca.
Which I just found out about a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, sorry I didn't tell you ahead of time. Guess what? You're going to be on the radio.
You know, I do have the face for radio, so.
So do I. All right. Well, my goodness sakes. I think the bubbles are starting to slowly go to my head.
Let me pour another glass here.
What?
I've got a glass half full.
There's a half full. There's a hole in the bottom of the bucket.
Half empty, if you will.
Oh, well, yeah. Just top it up there. Just top it up. Exactly.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, exactly. It's turning into a drag show now. So, C4C, if you don't know who I am a drag queen here in Kingston, Ontario. And I do a lot of the shows and stuff like that in town. We'll talk about them later on in the program. Mimi is also a drag queen. And I wanted to kind of start... I really should have hit the start recording as well, but we'll start that now. So just, can you tell us a bit about yourself, about Miss Mimiosa, your career?
Absolutely. Well, I am 24 years old. I moved to Kingston when I was 19 to attend Queen's University. I had never really thought about drag as something I wanted to do. I actually remember watching RuPaul's Drag Race with my mom and my sister and her friends and saying, if I ever want to be a drag queen, you have the permission to slap me in the face and then tell me I'm stupid. Because I would never in a million years want to do that. That's not the kind of gay person I am. And then I came to a show here in Kingston that Tyffanie Morgan was putting on. And there was somebody, I can't remember their name, who was performing on the stage, and I was lip syncing along to the song. And they actually pulled me up on stage, and so I did the song along with them, and I actually did a much better job. And we're not talking about anybody in particular. It's just, the way things work. And Tyffanie came up to me after the show and was like, would you ever think about doing this? And so I took a few months to... learn how to do makeup and gather the outfits and all of that. And then she graciously just allowed me to join the Kingston drag scene and start performing at all of the shows. So that's kind of how I got started. And, I've been going ever since, and I'm Kingston's premier drag queen along with Tyffanie Morgan here. So,
premier. Yeah.
Premier, yes.
I remember the event that you talk about a little differently. That the drag queens saw you going in the audience. You were just going crazy, and they were like a little miffed, I think, that you were trying to up her. So she invited you on stage, and it kind of backfired on her, I think.
It sure did.
I think it backfired on her.
And I wasn't trying to outshine her when I was sitting in the audience lip syncing along. It was just a song that I really enjoyed and had never heard out in the world before because, I'm from a small town, so I never heard people who listen to this type of music. So just to be out in a space and have like this performer on stage doing this song, I was just kind of jamming along with it. And yeah, I guess it wasn't really kosher.
Why not? No. It was totally kosher. It was totally kosher. They invited you up there. That's, part of the thing. If a drag queen invites you up onto the stage, you're okay to do that. Just don't jump up on there without her inviting you. That could be problematic.
Exactly.
That could be problematic. Oh my goodness sakes. So, yeah, so it's been 5 years.
Yeah, something like 5 years, which is crazy to me that I still look this terrible after 5 years. No, and we've done some really cool stuff here in Kingston. We've done shows at RMC. We've done shows at Queen's. We've done, Pride in the Park. Lots of things that we've done that I'm really proud of.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I know. There's. Well, you did the first drag show. I know some people are like, well, I'm sure there was drag queens on RMC campus before, Royal Military College campus before. But I'm like, no, there was never a show. You did the first drag show ever at Royal Military College campus.
Yeah, and there's another queen somewhere in the world who thinks that she was the first to do it, but I know for a fact it's not true. But anyways, we were the first to perform on a base, so that's pretty
well,
pretty
not
cool.
I don't know about military bases, but okay.
Okay, well, whatever.
But okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
You could have been the first one on a Canadian military base in Canada?
Yes. Yeah, we were.
What?
Yeah, I know, it's insane.
What?
And it's funny because when I did the show, I was just like, oh yeah, we're just doing this show at RMC, like whatever, we're going to go do it. It's going to be fine. It wasn't until after I did it that I realized what a big deal it was. Like I honestly had no idea that wasn't something that happened. Like, so that was a really cool moment after the fact to be like, oh.
You can't see me, but my jaw is like dropped. I'm like, that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And I did it the year after. I had her sloppy. But oh my gosh, yes. And when it comes to career, especially here in Kingston, you could be doing highfalutin stuff, or you can just be doing something on the back of a pickup truck, really, right?
Right.
But you all appreciate them all differently. So I asked another queen this too. So drag is kind of like a performance art, right? Because sometimes I think of it as just something to do, really, but it is kind of an art form. So how has your art changed over the last few years prior to COVID?
Right. Well, I think when I started, I was really set. I think it's really interesting for me because I decided to do gender studies at Queen's. So as I was kind of coming into my own as like a young queer person, finally living in a big city. I mean, I'm from rural Ontario, so this is a big city to me. So actually, like being able to interact with other queer people in the community, and also just reading all of this academic work for my degree, really allowed me to kind of change my art over the years. So when I first started, for me, it was all about kind of imitating femininity and like being like a blonde bombshell and that sort of thing, with no sort of, I guess, nuance to what I was doing. I really wanted to just be pretty and do the songs I wanted to do and that sort of thing. And now I think as I grow, I'm learning that you can say something with your drag. Not necessarily that I'm doing that at this point, but I know I could if I wanted to. Drag still for me is very much just, something to do. It's very fun. I like performing. I like being the center of attention. I am a Leo ascending, so it is just, so that's how it's changed. I've kind of veered away from that idea that I need to be this pretty thing, and now it's more so I'm just Mimiosa. Mimiosa is its own character. I'm not trying to imitate any particular aspect of femininity. It's just the way that I have created this character to be, whether that be, I don't really know where I'm going with that.
Well, it's interesting that you're talking about that because you're reminding me, because I started drag a long time ago. And but I did put some thought to it when I was first starting it, and I didn't want to, because at that time there was a lot of this realism, right?
Right.
That people wanted to look passable as drag queens, that they could be passed as women and stuff like that. But I didn't particularly want to portray that. I wanted to use those female kind of characteristics, but in a different way. So that's why I always had the different colored wigs sort of thing, right? The first blue one, old blue.
We love the blue wig.
It's a long, it's a, well, it's not long, it's a bob. It has that feminine characteristic, but, most women do not have blue hair. So yeah, you get to play with those sort of parameters, I guess, of what femininity is, and yeah, and make it your own.
Yeah, so I don't really consider Mimiosa the traditional image of femininity. It's more just the way I like to express my gender. It allows me to explore my feminine side without, I guess, I don't really know. Like, I don't feel comfortable necessarily, like, wearing women's clothes in my day-to-day life. That's not the kind of fashion that I gravitate towards when I go to work or when I'm going out with friends, but I do still need an outlet for the feminine energy that they have inside of me, and like Mimiosa allows me to do that. But I'm not trying to like be a woman or tell people that women need to have long blonde hair and a skinny waist or whatever. That's just the way that I'm choosing to present this character.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do, or whatever.
Get the gender studies major on here, and immediately we're talking about valid femininity in all of its forms. I'm so sorry.
well, thank you for using terms I have no idea what they are.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and with performance art, I'm always getting, you always get something back from the audience, right? You always get some sort of, doing that performance, there's like an immediate kind of feedback, which I kind of live off, right? And I kind of need that, so many times a month or whatever.
Well, I think a lot of people also think that performance art means like highbrow and very serious and conceptual, but I kind of consider it more as like to feed off what you're saying, making people laugh in itself is like a performance art. Like sometimes when you're just being silly on stage, you are still, comedy is an art form. So there is something to be said about just being kind of, messy or whatever on stage. If it's intentional, it can be used as, comedic performance art. And I think that's kind of where I've gone with my drag over the years, is like not necessarily trying to do these super highbrow performance pieces, but I'm honestly just trying to make sure people have a good time. And I think that's what drag should be about. If you're doing it in, a bar or club setting, it should be, something interesting to look at, something that's engaging to the audience. And usually that is, comedy. So
yeah, you can do a whole lot with comedy. I think you've even challenged the audiences in past shows with comedy. And when I mean challenge their kind of norms and perceptions and stuff like that. So and that was the major coming out in you. So how has your art been affected during COVID-19?
Well, obviously we're doing a lot less in-person shows. I mean, we're lucky that we're in Kingston because there weren't too many shows per month before COVID-19 hit, but we're not being financially impacted in the ways that like Toronto queens who do it full time are. No, we're still being financially impacted, but it is that loss of extra income, but not as severely as, the people who do it full time in Toronto lost their impact and are still not able to, make their money as they were before, much like a lot of people who are working anyway.
Yeah.
But so I just think we're a little bit more lucky because we really only had 1 or 2 shows a month. So we're not missing a whole lot. We're still missing our creative outlet. And, we can do the online stuff, but it's not really the same. Like we were saying, we do feed off the audience. So I've tried to do a couple of online performances or online shows or whatever, but it usually just ends up being me sitting in front of my iPhone, not iPod, what are we, 2008? In front of my iPhone, like
2008.
just drinking and lip syncing whatever song I want to and just chatting with my audience and being a fool, which is not really something you can charge a $15 cover for.
Yeah. The business models have been challenging. I understand. I've done that. I've even had you here in a Sweet Pea Studios / my living room, and and it's just getting that audience there. But that feedback is a delayed feedback. It's a chat, sort of feedback. Like for instance, this random person who sent us a message. I always pass as a real life woman. I'm not too sure. I've seen your hips, dear. I don't know if that's passable. But there's a lot of those challenges. And when you're talking about when we're talking about the finances, because we kind of talked about that earlier, that drag queens in Kingston, this is not our full-time job. It is for people in Toronto, and then hey, they're without any income at that point. I hope they were applying to serve, but it's something that we do, but we have a full-time job sort of thing. So I'm not too sure where I was going with that.
Well, it's still a loss of income, right? It is that extra. Some people only do shows to pay for their drag. So if now you're losing all of your income for that, you have no money to spend on drag.
Well, that was one of the things. Yeah, I know some people who are investing in outfits and makeup and stuff like that, but there's nothing feeding back into that, right? So God bless them for doing that.
I mean, it's nice we're doing the in-person shows again, but I don't know how long that will last, so let's make the most of it.
Let's make the most of it, exactly.
And even that has changed as well in terms of, audience, like how many audience members are allowed to be there, right? So we can only have so many people watch our show. Like we did a show at Spearhead and we had to have 2 different showings, but we still probably only had the capacity of, one regular show, but we were doing double the work, right? So, I mean, that's changed a lot as well as in this almost, I don't want to say post-COVID because we're not post-COVID, but in the post-lockdown aspect of it, it's not back to normal. We're not doing shows as we were. We're still behind a plastic screen. We can't interact with the audience on a personal level, which is probably good for the sexual harassment claims. But other than that,
there are no.
Don't worry. Everybody signs a waiver when they enter the show.
Stop stealing my stick.
Oh, I'm just kidding. We're very respectful.
We are extremely respectful during any live drag show.
Please come see us.
So you even find a challenge with that clear barrier too, right? The sneeze guard.
I mean, I also wear glasses, so
I know.
So when I'm doing drag, I'm not wearing my glasses, so I can regularly not really see the audience and what their reactions are. But even more so with this saran wrap covering we have going on in front of the stage, I can't see anything. So I have no idea if the people are enjoying it or not. So it's
I know. I put contacts in, it makes everything a little wonky, and then that screen just it may not be. It may be crystal clear, but it may not be stretched, right? So...
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my word.
I'm just trying to get your timer back up here.
Yeah, here's my timer right there.
Oh.
There we go. There we go. We're good. So, yeah, those are some of the challenges then for the recent shows, because you've done some recent actual shows. But what are, and some of the successes, I guess, is, looking at that is that you can still at least get some audiences. Any other kind of successes sort of thing?
Well, I mean, we've sold out all of the shows that I've done. So that's good. I mean, there's people who are still wanting to see this and who need to see. I mean, there's a lot of people that come to our shows that are struggling with their gender identity, and coming to these shows and interacting with us queens or kings is a very cathartic experience for them and allows them to exist in a space where they can feel comfortable and unjudged that they may not be able to do in their everyday life. So that's been a really nice thing to be able to interact with those people again. I had somebody come up to me when we did the show at Spearhead who was saying, I was really nervous about coming out tonight, but I'm really glad that I did because it's really nice to see you, and you've been such a great inspiration to me. And that was like something that like I knew that like doing
Oh.
drag was like something that people might find inspiring. And I knew that people like have definitely looked up to me because I have so many fans. But this was kind of the first time that I realized that like what I do maybe is really important in our community. I mean, it may not be so much in a bigger city where there's so many drag queens doing things, but here in Kingston, there aren't that many of us. So to have somebody say, you know, you are helping me in my journey of finding myself was really eye-opening and kind of made me realize that what I do is, you know, important.
It's important. Oh, and that gets me all mushy. I don't know if it's the champers or.
So that was a success, you know. I mean, I've put out some new looks that I have had for years that I never really have worn. And so I'm kind of reintroducing those into my sets. And so that's, you know, a success is to finally be like, oh, wait, this is actually a good look that I should be wearing more often.
Yeah.
Just because I had the time to go through my closet and look at all the stuff I have. So.
Well, I think that's what lockdown. Yeah, I've definitely done a review of what is in there. There are things that were in my closet that I even forgot I had, and there was a lot of dusty things, and yeah, so it is a great opportunity. It gets you to look into that, and it's funny that you mentioned the bringing out of community because, and I don't mean to single out any one community or anything like that, but I've had people who are part of our cross-dressing community, for instance. Quite a few of them like to come out to our drag shows, and
Yeah, for
especially
sure.
the Halloween ones, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll have someone who's like, I don't feel sick. They don't go out, but on Halloween, you know, at a drag show, that gives them extra permissions to
Right.
be able to go out. So, yeah.
It's been nice to have see everybody again, and you know, so that's success. It's like getting closer to people through, because the people that are coming to your show in a pandemic are obviously your biggest fans, right? They have to be the most loyal.
Exactly.
You know, Mary from, I don't know, what's like a Amersfoort, she's not coming out to the show. It's just a made-up name.
Just a made-up name. I'm like, who's Mary? Who's Mary?
Of course, I picked Mary too. Mary. Anyway,
But we get quite a little diaspora of people who come out because I've been to one of the more local shows, and So one of the in-person shows recently, and there was a table of people who were like, oh, what is there to do on a Friday night? And they just found it online, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. It was their first drag show. They enjoyed it. They signed the waiver, and it's great. So, last question. So, have you thought of what drag in the future might be?
I mean, I'm hoping it'll go back to normal. I mean, that would be great. I don't really think that we'll ever get back to like if you look at Cruise and Tangos in Toronto, like if you were there on a Friday night, it would be packed to the brim. I don't foresee that ever happening again. I feel like as we go forward, or we'll just all forget about it, and then in a couple years it'll happen again, and we'll be like, why didn't we see this coming? So I hope we kind of go back to some sense of normalcy after this is all said and done. But I think as far as drag goes, it really depends on what your venues are like and what, I feel like the online show thing will keep going. I think there'll always be a market for some people to have an online show, and there might be it's probably more accessible for people that aren't able to book a huge venue and sell it out. You can do an online show, and some people can make money off that depending on how, where you're operating from and what your fan base is like. There's also the opportunities to do online shows with people that you obviously can't afford to fly out to your town, so you might be able to connect with international performers that you never thought you'd be able to work with, and that might be a door that's been opened now, so that will be interesting for people that have the the popularity to be able to contact those international queens and get them to do a show with them. So I think that will continue as we move forward. Live shows, I don't foresee audience members wanting to be, approached by a drag queen during their number anytime soon, because it is still a stranger that's in your personal space. So I think that will change, where queens will kind of stay more so on the stage and in their own bubble, which wasn't always the case before. Because there is something to be said about audience personal interaction, like going up to somebody during your number and trying to incorporate them into that. A lot of drag queens make that their entire shtick, so it'll be interesting to see how that.
Well, some of you ladies, I had problems trying to keep you on the stage in the lighting. 3/4 of the show is out in the dark.
Yeah, well, I absolutely will be staying in that saran wrap bubble. Believe me.
Oh, life in the bubble. All right.
Let's plug some things.
Let's plug some things. Exactly. Let's talk about upcoming events. All right, upcoming events here. Check out outin.ca for your source of all the events, all the LGBTQ queer plus events going on here in Kingston that we know of, and we posted on the website. So you're listening right now to Breakfast with Tyffanie. Yay!
Woohoo! I finally made it on here.
You're with Mimiosa. Breakfast with Tyffanie with me, Tyffanie Morgan. All right, this Saturday there's Beers for Queers at Monty's, so that's kind of a, just go by and drop in sort of thing. It says 8 p.m. here, but I thought it was after 10. We also have another drag show this Sunday, although it's sold out, and that's at Musiki, and I don't think it's a name that I can say on radio, but there's 3 performers.
And it's sold out. So if you're looking for a ticket, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, you got to talk to some friends. So Gender Talk, which is a program here on C4C, that is on Tuesday at 5 p.m. We have the Kingston Pride Annual General Meeting coming up Tuesday as well at 7 p.m. So that will be online. That'll be an online Zoom meeting that people can drop in, listen to the issues, hear from the candidates who wish to be part of the board of directors, and then elections will be posted afterwards. So if you're a past member, you can renew at any time.
There you go.
Mimi?
Yes, I need to renew my membership. Yes.
There we go. All right, and some future events. We have Trick or Treat. Do you want to talk about that, Mimi?
Yeah, so I will be doing a drag show at the 4 Point Sheridan. That will be on Friday, October 30th, starting at 7:30, and I'll be joined by Rowena Way, Lilith Kane, and Annihilation. Hope I got that cast list right.
Oh, Annihilation's coming down, too.
She is a Belleville drag queen who is very creepy, so she's perfect for a Halloween show. So that will be, tickets are available, I think, on Eventbrite, I hope. And you can just go to Rowena Way's Instagram page or Facebook page, or I think it's out in. Is there a link? Can you link it?
Well, there's a thing here, and I'm going to click on it. In.
I think if you go on Out In, you can find your way there.
Yeah, there it is.
You can find the Facebook page and then go to the buy tickets. So do that.
And then on Saturday, there's a matinee drag show, October 31st, a Halloween matinee drag show called Moon Magic, hosted by me, Miss Tyffanie Morgan, with performances by Lilith Kane, Vinnie Von Vinci, who's a drag king, Peaches as well, who's a drag queen. Excuse me, I got some bubbles. And so that tickets are on sale on Eventbrite. I'm selling the tables. Get a group of friends together, buy a table, and it's in a matinee. So it starts at 2 o'clock at the Renaissance, 285 Queen Street. Buy tickets on Eventbrite. Buy tickets on Eventbrite. Buy tickets on Eventbrite.
Perfect.
Because I need to sell that.
And just the last thing I need to plug, Mariah Carey's memoir is now out. It is available at Shoppers Drug Mart on Princess Street. It is 25% off the Canadian book sleeve price. So make sure to go out and get that. It's called The Meaning of Mariah Carey.
Back up from the camera. Sorry, from the microphone. Back up from the microphone. Oh my word.
Just had to do some promotion for my girl. New York Times #1 bestseller.
Oh, really?
Yes,
oh.
of course.
Oh, there we go. All I want for Christmas is you.
Is it time?
Is it time? It isn't November 1st. I'm sorry. All right. I think we're going over our time here, but I want to say thank you, Mimi. Thank you for bringing the bubbly. Thank you for bringing your bubbly personality.
Absolutely.
And being here in person for the first program on CFRC 101.9 of Breakfast with Tiffany. So
hopefully they'll have us back.
Hopefully they'll have us back, exactly. So sweet peas, I want to give you my love. Mwah. You stay safe now.